Hello, everyone. This is kind of a tough video to make. So I want to talk to you about how I reacted as an empath to the events of January 6, 2021, when people stormed our nation's capital. And so I think I should start by saying, what is an empath? There are several different kinds of empaths, and I'll probably get into that in future videos. But as a general definition, an empath is someone that picks up on the emotions and feelings of other people. And I am particularly sensitive to large groups of people. And it's quite interesting that the way I found out I was an empath is actually related to September 11th, 2001, so 20 years ago. A few years later, I was sitting and visiting with my aunt and uncle. They're some of my spiritual gurus. I think they're just amazing spiritual people. But they happened to be living in DC at the time of 9/11, and my aunt worked for the military. And so we were talking about how that day affected us, what it was like. And that was actually very healing to sit and have that private conversation. But when I was sharing, I talked about how I was living here in Utah at that time. And the president and the governor and everybody was saying we were supposed to just pretend nothing happened and go about our day. I was not capable of that. I honestly was not capable of that. I am going to admit that before September 11th, 2001, I don't think I'd ever even heard of the Twin Towers. I didn't understand what had happened. And I worked in a call center, so I was getting phone calls from people that were affected. And it was just very bewildering. And when I heard the Pentagon was hit, I thought immediately about my aunt, and I was terrified. Fortunately, she was not in the Pentagon. There were an awful lot of people that died that day, and it was very tragic and very sad. And so my reaction was I had to go home. It was making me physically ill to try to pretend nothing was happening when I was feeling so much happening. I could feel my coworkers' unrest. I could feel the nation's unrest. I could feel the fear and the terror of so many people. And at that time, I didn't have any tools to deal with it. And so I have 4 children, and at the time they were much younger. It was 20 years ago. And so my response was to go and get them all out of school and bring them home and keep them close to me so that we could all feel safe. And I remember describing this to my uncle, and his response was, "Oh, we have an empath in the family." And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked, because I thought an empath was like Troy on Star Trek, mind reader. You don't read people's minds. Definitely pick up on emotions, though. And so that was very eye-opening for me. And that was probably, I don't know, like 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago that he said that to me. And that put me on a journey of self-discovery and onto the spiritual path that I am now. And so I want to talk to you about January 6th, 2021, because that was a huge event too. A huge event. So I felt it before I knew anything was going on. I woke up with a migraine, and I did not feel good, and I didn't know why. But I am chronically ill, and I get a lot of headaches. So I didn't think much of it. And I'm just like, I'm just going to do my best. Take some medicine, drink some fluids. I got my Gatorade. And, just have the best day that I could possibly have. And it was going pretty well. I did have some good things happen that day, but the uneasy feeling didn't go away. And my husband likes to stay on top of the news, and he periodically was sharing things with me, and I wasn't totally absorbing it. And it was very interesting to me. And so I got to a point where I'm like, I told him, I said, I guess I just feel like I can't hear this right now. And so that's kind of how I dealt with it. I feel like I subconsciously was protected. I have developed some tools. I have an energetic bubble that protects me, and I can choose what to let in and what not to let in. And also my kids are grown, so I don't feel like I have to run and protect them. So I got through my day, and like I said, it was a fairly pleasant day. And then on January 7th, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to find out what the heck is going on. And so I carefully went online on my television and picked news sources to find out what exactly had happened, and allow myself to feel the feelings. And I posted about it on Facebook, and wow, there are so many feelings. I mean, even just my own, without letting anybody else's feelings in, there's a lot to feel about that. Because in the United States, in elementary school in the 1970s, I was taught that this is the perfect country. And everybody wanted to be like us. All the other countries wish they could be the United States of America. Everybody that doesn't live in the United States of America wants to live in the United States of America. And everything is perfect here. And we can do no wrong. And we run around the world saving people and la-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, in part of my spiritual journey, I've been learning that's not true. That is a fantasy world. It is propaganda created by, I don't know who, honestly. I don't know who created this propaganda and put it in our textbooks. I don't know. But I do know the history of the United States of America is very whitewashed. Very whitewashed. And there's been a lot of damage to Native Americans and Black people and Japanese and probably every minority. I don't think I've heard all the stories, but the ones that I have heard have just blown my mind. And, honestly, sometimes it makes me embarrassed to be so fair-skinned. But I have to remind myself, I'm not the one that did those things. However, I am someone that can be a voice for change. And so it was impossible not to see the difference between the peaceful protests for Black Lives Matters, where people were shot with rubber bullets and, I just can't even go into that. Or even the North Dakota pipeline, the horrible things done to the Native Americans there. And this is not hundreds of years ago. This is recent. It's very recent. It is very sad. And if you're an empath, you feel that. And it hurts. It hurts. Like maybe you're the kind of empath that just hurts for people like you that you understand. So maybe if you're a person of color and you see other people of color suffering, you can feel all their pain. That is still a lot of pain. That is a big collective pain. For me, it's all people. I feel a connection to all people. One of my gifts is love of humanity. I love people. I truly, truly do. And I want a change. And so one of the things that I try to look for are the positives. Now, what happened on January 6th is not positive, okay? But sometimes we can have positive outcomes to bad things. And I think this is going to create change. People that couldn't see the problem before are having their eyes opened. And I feel change in the air. I do. I really do. I was watching something on YouTube this morning, and Seth Meyers, he was saying it's only 55 years that everybody in our country could vote, talking about when Black people actually got the right to vote. And that kind of blew my mind because I'm 50. So it's only 5 years before I was born. My parents are 80. So my parents lived in a country for 25 years where Black people were not allowed to vote. My parents lived in a country where there was segregation. We all still live in a country where Native Americans do not have equality. This is about race. This is about equal rights. Why is it so hard to pass the Equal Rights Amendment? Why is it so hard to say that people of every gender deserve to have the same rights? This is not a country of only white Christian men. We have many genders. We have many races. We have many religions. We have many beliefs. I was taught as a child that we are supposed to be a melting pot, and that when everybody comes into the US, we're supposed to jump in the pot and get melted and homogenized. Gross. Thankfully, as I got older, they changed that to a tossed salad. I actually don't want an analogy. I want something beautiful that's never been created. I want a nation of people who are all different. I'm very different. Who are all different and respect those differences in each other and love those differences in each other. Celebrate those differences in each other. And I think that's possible. I hope that's possible. And that hope heals me. Hope gives me strength. And I hope for that. I hope for a brighter future. I hope for healing for the planet and for the people on the planet, and for the animals and for the plants. So if you are an empath and you are feeling impacted by the events of January 6th, I see you, I hear you, I feel you, and I love you. And I hope you have a beautiful day today, Friday, January 8th. Bye.